the moment that everybody's been waiting for, and I'm sure everybody's just itching to do something else if they're watching this thing straight through. All right, so we have our final four of the entire bracket here, of Frank Ajusta's bracket of pain here, bracket of sports pain. So from the Lee's bracket, we have the 2004 ALCS loss to the Red Sox. So, and just it's a little delay here. Just because I'm writing it down because I didn't print a Final Four version of this. Okay, so that's the first seed there that came out. The second from the Danino's bracket is the fifth seeded 2017 ALCS loss to the Houston Astros, which by the Yankees. So we put that in our bracket here, and it's quite funny that we're going to be having, if you just recently watched our Jack Mao bracket here, the fact that you've seen that the ALCS losses, and actually 3 out of the 4 are going to be ALCS losses, but 2 of them are going to be to Houston. So Houston has done a lot of damage, the Astros, to the sports world, but particularly to the Yankees as well. Coming from the Royal Crown bracket is the only non-Yankee event within this Final Four is the 2014 Stanley Cup Final loss to the Kings. So let me put that in. And then our final event, again, as we just mentioned from the Jack Mao bracket, is the 2019 ALCS loss to Houston. So again, if you're keeping track at home, the way this is going is it kind of runs clockwise. So it goes 1 at the top, 2 to the right, 3 at the bottom right, and 4 to the bottom left. So it went Lee's, Danino's, Royal Crown, Jack Mao. And that wasn't on screen, so I'm going to do it again. Lee's, Danino's, Royal Crown, Jack Mao.
Yep.
So, okay. So I'm going to begin with the 1 versus 4, which is the Lee's versus Jack Mao. So we're going to go with the 2004 ALCS loss to the Red Sox against the 2019 ALCS loss to the Astros. Have at it, Frank.
Wow. All right, so the problem with the 04 ALCS is I was so young at the time, right?
Yeah.
So am I sitting up watching especially game 4 and 5, which are going into extra innings, am I sitting up as a 9-year-old watching these games unfold? Probably I wasn't, right? I probably watched the beginning of the games, but then, of course, I had to go to bed at a certain point because I was only 9 at the time. Yeah. So that plays a factor. That definitely plays a factor. But with that being said, again, the Red Sox have reversed the curse almost a little bit with this victory in 04, with this ALCS comeback. So they've reversed the curse to a certain extent. I mean, the Yankees haven't won 1 World Series, but it's still, I mean, the Red Sox have been the better team and the best team probably since in the 21st century since then. And then the 19 ALCS, it's tough, man. It's tough. The 19 ALCS, the thing with the 19 ALCS, it's that they won game 1 so easily. They got my confidence going. I think the Yankees won game 1 like 7-1 or 8, something like that. Mm-hmm. So they got me confident. They won game 1 in Houston, but then lost game 2, 3, and 4. So things soured pretty quickly. Oh, man. And then, like we said earlier, I don't know how this is going to continue to impact the Yankees, the 19 AL. So will they be there? Will they be in a position where they're in the ALCS again in the future? Probably, you would think. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna because of the long-term impact, I'm gonna have to go with 04, even though in the moment it wasn't as painful as 19. Just because of, where I was in my life at the time.
Yeah.
But I'm going to have to go with the 04 ALCS. So
Yeah.
they are in the final.
Yeah, and I think that's honestly what everybody in our audience, our millions of fans here, did predict. Was that the '04 ALCS was going to make it, because it is one of the more painful Yankee, if not New York, fan events ever in history.
Right.
And you just happen to be alive for it. So I was on the better side of that, but I won't talk about it too much. All right, so the 2 versus 3, the Daninos versus World Crown brackets. We have the 2017 ALCS lost to Houston, which I will bring up to you. The reason why I seeded that one higher than the 2019 was due to the fact that it took place in a longer amount of games.
Yeah, that's fair.
The 7 games. And then the three seed bracket, the Royal Crown bracket, the 1 seed came out of this one. So the 1 seed came out of Lee's and Royal Crown, and the other 2 were 4 and 5 seeds, I believe. But the Royal Crown bracket, the winner of that one was the 2014 Stanley Cup Final, lost to the Kings. So go ahead and have at it with these 2.
Well, so you're right when you say the 17 ALCS is more painful and bothers me more than the 19 ALCS, but they aren't matching up with one another, which is a shame because that would have been good to see. But they were in separate sides of the bracket. But 17 was more painful. Like I said, the Yankees were on a little bit of a magical run in 17. You had the whole after effect of the sign stealing with the banging of the trash cans or whatever. That plays a factor also. Played more of a factor in 17 than it did in 19. This went 7 games, which makes it more painful. If you lose in 7 rather than losing in 6. The fact that they won games 3, 4, and 5, up 3-2 in the series, that bothers me. So but again, it's not matching up against the 19 ALCS. It's matching up against the 2014 Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
But the 14 Stanley Cup, my God, it's like you wonder if the Rangers are ever going to get when they're. I mean, they're on the right track, right? The Rangers are definitely rebuilding. They started getting hot even as recently as the past couple of months. Mm-hmm. And we're actually threatening to make the playoffs until the coronavirus thing hit. There's the factor that the Yankees are, my first love, as everybody knows. But I love watching the Rangers too. Hockey's probably my second favorite sport. I love hockey, so it's tough. I'm gonna have to go with the 2014 Stanley Cup.
All right.
It's about as close as it gets. It's like literally just edges by it. It's tough. The 17 ALCS missed a couple free throws at the end of the game, and that's why I got knocked out. A couple seconds left on the clock. They have a chance to win the game. They miss a couple free throws, and that's it.
Yeah. In hockey.
So yeah, the 2014 Stanley Cup has made it to the finals.
All right. Okay, so we have arrived at our championship match right here. 2 very deserving candidates here, 2 very painful events. The 2004 ALCS loss to the Red Sox versus the 2014 Stanley Cup Final loss by the Rangers to the Kings. How painful will this get for you to decide, Frank?
It's not easy, but I think everyone knows what hurts the 04 ALCS. It's the age factor. Okay. It's the fact that I was only 9 at the time. Mm-hmm. Even though the impact has just been off the charts, immeasurable. The 2014 Stanley Cup, I can't hear the sirens go off when Martinez puts it in the back of the net. It just drives me crazy. I got another one of those things I got to look away. Mm. And just seeing Lundqvist sprawled on the ice like that, tough to watch. So it's not easy, but I'm going to have to go with the 2014 Stanley Cup as the winner.
Wow. Okay.
So congratulations to the 2014 Stanley Cup.
Wow.
That's it.
I must say, that ending right there had an eerily reminiscent ending to Super Bowl 42. And I don't even know why I'm bringing that up, because it affected me. That's my painful moment. But that had an eerily reminiscent ending to that. Like, for me, I thought the 04 ALCS was going the distance. The 1 seed, number 1 overall, it was going all the way. That's what I thought. But
it's definitely deserving of a 1 seed. There's a reason why it made it to the championship game. It's close. I mean, it's almost impossible. It's like almost you have to flip a coin. But you know what hurts it? It's the age factor. If the 2004 ALCS happened in, say, I don't know, 2015, whatever, pick a more recent year, and I'm living it, like especially if I'm at PC, and that happens, that's taking the cake. No one's competing with it. It's easy. There's no point in even having a bracket. But because I was only 9 at the time, I didn't experience it, watching Ortiz hit the home run, or Ortiz get the single in Game 5, or Johnny Damon hitting the grand slam in Game 7. It's just like I've seen highlights of it plenty of times, right? And you can't watch it type of thing, but it wasn't happening before my eyes. So that's why I had to go with the 2014 Stanley Cup. I was watching each and every one of those games. So
yeah. And the other thing I wonder too is, from your stance there, did the Stanley Cup final kind of have edge in this because of the fact that it was a championship round, whereas the ALCS was not the World Series?
Yeah. And you know what? You know what else plays a factor? I'm probably more confident in the Yankees' ability to get to the World Series and win one than I am in the Rangers' ability to get to a Stanley Cup and win one. I'm more confident that will happen, sooner rather than later than it happening, because it's hard to win in baseball. The best team in baseball doesn't always win the World Series. It's happened a bunch. Like it happened in 2018 with the Red Sox. It happened in 2016 with the Cubs. It happens. But in hockey, it's like you don't know who's going to win the world. You don't know who's going to get on that hot run, and it could be anybody. That's what. Yep. So the Rangers can build the best roster in the NHL, right? And then get to the playoffs and get knocked out in the first round. Look at Tampa, right? Look at Tampa last year. It happened to them, to Columbus. They got swept. So that's what makes it. That's what makes the 2014 Stanley Cup so hard.
And that's also part of the reason why the Bruins made it so far last year, was because of the Lightning's failure.
Yeah, very well could be the case. Yeah, for sure. So when you get to the Stanley Cup, you better win it, because you don't know when you're getting back. I mean, I know the Bruins have made it 3 times in this past decade, but like a lot made it to the Stanley Cup, but like they didn't win every time, right? They won in 11, but they didn't win in 13. They didn't win in 19. It's hard. It's hard to win.
It's very hard.
It's almost impossible to win 4 7-game series like that. It's just like it's so difficult, and that's why I had to go with the 14 Stanley Cup.
Well, 3 hours and 7 minutes. This has been quite an evening. I will say, this is probably the most fun I've had during the COVID-19 quarantine and all the lockdown and everything. To bring some semblance of life, even though it's in the past, back into this. You had a great idea, and it's been translated into something, I don't want to say life-changing. That's a little dramatic, but I think this is definitely something that has really brought a positive light into me, even though this has nothing to do with anything I like. But
and plus, there's no sports going on, so it's some fun to talk about some sports, because there's nothing going on right now.
Exactly. So it was a great idea that you picked up on from Joe and Evan, and I hope that other people like to do this as well. I will definitely caution people that you don't have to do a 3-hour Skype recorded call in order for you to let everybody know what you think. You can do it in a shorter time period. You don't even have to do a video. But this is kind of our way of expressing Frank's feelings, kind of easing the pain for him, is to kind of talk about little events here and there and not build it all up at once. But this was a very fun thing that we did here. And in terms of winners, we do have, some people who have responded and filled out their own brackets. We are going to run an analysis here and, calculate Frank's bracket and then see who came the closest.
Right.
We will be doing.
We're going to crunch the numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
Be fair and objective. Don't worry.
Yeah. And as a full disclosure as well, too, I did not fill out a bracket for that very reason.
Right.
Just because I was an integral part in the seating. So I will be doing the data crunching to see exactly who won against Frank's bracket here, who came the closest. But it will come into a later juncture as to who that is. And Frank will probably be handling that announcement there to his millions of Twitter and Instagram followers.
That's right. So, but again, congratulations to the 2014 Stanley Cup for being the most painful sports moment in my life. I don't know if I have anything else to add. If anyone else has interest in doing a bracket, maybe this could serve as inspiration. I know it's very time consuming.
Yeah. And well, I think also too, it helps that, you don't have to do a 3-hour show to talk about what the results were, but time consuming is a good thing right now because there is a lot of dead time out there and there's a lot of time to do something with, because life isn't like it was just a short time ago, and it might not be the way it normally should be for at least a little while longer. So if we have any message to offer, it's to, the fact that we are all in this together, and a Skype call like this did bring both of our spirits up, I would say, and video chatting certainly helps a lot, bringing people together and just seeing a face that you haven't seen in a while. It's new and inventive, and it really served a purpose for this. But we'll be talking about the results, and maybe this is the revival of Pat and Frank Sports Talk. What do you think, Frank?
You never know. I got to talk to my agent though.
Scott Boras?
I got to talk to my agent. Oh my God.
Yeah,
man. But yeah, it was fun. The winner will get a prize of some kind, and I'll be in touch with the winner. But we got to see who obviously got the closest bracket. So
yeah, and maybe if you folks want to, we could do a video as well to announce the winner and whatnot, and maybe this
we can also announce who came who had the worst bracket.
Yeah, I don't think I have the time to rank everybody, but we can certainly do the last. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. But and maybe we'll do a video to talk about that. But it's been a lot of fun. I'm going to stop the recording. We're gonna have a post game chat here to discuss what happened. But it's been nice chatting with all of you in the world out there. Stay safe, and hopefully we'll all be back together soon. Is what I'd say.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, just let me or Pat know. And see you soon.
Yeah, and probably I should mention too. Do you have an email that you want people to contact you with or whatnot?
No, I'll get their contact information once I find out who the winner is. Yeah.
I'm just thinking too, if there's anybody that stumbles upon this video, because the eventual intention is this to go to YouTube.
Can you even fit a 3-hour video on YouTube?
I have no idea. We might have to find out. Yeah,
maybe
I don't
we can
know.
edit it if we have to. I mean,
yeah, I don't know, but yeah, if anybody out there somehow comes in contact with this video, fconjusta@gmail.com is happy to answer any of your questions.
Yep. All right.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna hit the stop record, and we'll see y'all folks soon.
All right. Thanks, everyone.